Ultimately, Your Honor, the parties dated off and on for about 5 years. They were never married. They never had children together. And uh, it is something they've kind of been breaking up over the last couple of years. Mr. Noah has requested that she stop having contact with him, that she no longer reach out to him. Upon kind of making that official, she's reached out to his ex-wife. She's had numerous text communications with his ex-wife, Amy. I think those were submitted in her materials as well, asking Amy, the ex-wife of Mr. Noah, to be on board with the Take Down Kevin Noah program. And ultimately, ever since breaking up with her, she's threatened to make his life a living hell. And she has been requesting that he continue to maintain some sort of medical insurance on her behalf. He's previously supplied the audio transcript or audio messages of that, with those recordings. We did provide the transcribed version of those as well. And ultimately she's saying, I'm going to make your life a living hell, keep me on your insurance, and making various threats. He says what you're trying to do is blackmail, and she ultimately admits to that. He's blocked her from communication as well, and she's turned around and reached out to his brother-in-law, I think texting him over 80 times, calling him numerous times at the wee hours of the morning. She's done that to his son as well. Numerous calls, text messages, claiming that it's frantic and urgent that Mr. Noah reach out to him. She's reached out to his mother, various family members. It is harassing.
Did you catch that? Over 80 text messages sent to his brother-in-law in the middle of the night. Imagine your phone buzzing non-stop at 3 a.m. from someone you've told to leave you alone. That isn't just persistence, that's harassment. Courts look closely at patterns of behavior, and here the pattern is crystal clear: repeated, unwanted, emotionally charged contact designed to intimidate and overwhelm. Let me ask you, if this happened to your family, how many late-night calls would it take before you finally said, enough is enough?
Course of conduct that continues. He's asked her to stop this sort of behavior. There's been a false claim that she submitted to L&I. She's threatened to report him to the IRS, to take down his parents as well. All of these are very concerning behaviors that are offensive in nature. There's also text exchange where she has threatened suicide, which is a form of domestic violence. And we've also submitted her criminal history report. It shows, although none are with Mr. Noah, they are very concerning. There are past convictions for domestic violence, malicious mischief, assault. And these have all been very, very troubling for Mr. Noah. He's asked her to stop communication, and she continues, whether it's him or through third parties. And just the nature of the way, like numerous 80 text messages to his brother-in-law from, I think 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning.
Why then? We've got things going all the way back to March of 2024. What caused him? Was there something in particular that caused him to come into the court on August 9th?
Your Honor, it's continuing behavior. And he does own and operate a haunted house in the Thurston County area. And it's anticipated that that's going to be opening here at the end of the month. And he has concerns that Miss Gray is going to attempt to sabotage that business operation as well.
And why does he believe that? Maybe you can point me to some of these exhibits as to why that is a concern.
Well, she is reported to L&I and made a claim that she had worked there at one point, and Mr. Noah denies that. There's been, I think if you look at the text messages, I believe he has shown that she submitted a Google review of the business, kind of disparaging the business as well. There's a text exchange where she is guaranteeing that he's going to have a decline in revenue. And let's see if I can find, it looks like those text messages are from July 11th. And trying to see if I can.
Okay. There it is. 2 texts from July 11th.
Yes.
Right.
So the middle one on the bottom section, and it says, has the 7-8 guarantee a 20% decline in revenue. And you'll have zero clue as to what's happening of some sort.
Has there been, does he attribute?
This is where the case takes a darker twist. Not only does Jennifer allegedly harass Kevin personally, but she reportedly targeted his livelihood, his haunted house business. Think about that for a second. Filing false claims, leaving damaging Google reviews, and even predicting a decline in his revenue. That's not just personal conflict, it's economic warfare. And when someone threatens your ability to provide for yourself, the legal system treats it with serious weight. Should a courtroom see this as harassment or as a calculated act of revenge? What do you think?
Any of this, as you said, quote unquote, sabotage of his business to Ms. Gray in the past or recent past?
Well, I mean, she's threatening to take down his business. She's filed an L&I claim. Has there been anything in years past with the business? I'm not sure. I don't know. But in terms of this text message directly to him, as well as the text message to his ex-wife, Amy, she has threatened that she's asked Amy to get on board of the Kevin Noah takedown program. She submitted that. So she's, and that was submitted, I believe, by both parties. I mean, she's attempting to sabotage him, sabotage his business, and threaten to take him down. She's admitted that she is attempting to blackmail him. And the other, I mean, she is in various text exchange, she's also threatened suicide. That itself is a form of domestic violence.
Can you describe to me how you told Ms. Gray just to stop contacting you?
In July, it was through a text, and then even prior to that, there's multiple texts that I've submitted of please stop contacting me, and then she's offered, come out, it's just a cycle, and so she's like, she'll apologize to me, and
here's where things become especially complicated: suicide threats. In legal terms, this can be considered a form of domestic violence, because it traps the other person in fear and emotional manipulation. Imagine being told, "Keep me on your insurance or I'll end my life." That isn't just emotional turmoil, it's coercion. The court has to weigh not only the harassment, but also the dangerous impact these threats have on Kevin's ability to walk away. How should the justice system balance compassion for mental health with protection for the victim?
Say, I'm good, we're good, and we had kind of a nice, not even a fallout. And at the end of May, she came over and got her stuff. I even took her to her storage facility, helped her out, and she's, I thought things were going to end on kind of a good note in a sense. And then it just, all of a sudden, it just flared up. And then if something happens and I'm going to commit suicide. And so it's something I've been trying to get out of. I'm like just trapped in. And then after I got the attorney, Mr. Foster, then the records came up of her past history. And I did have a declaration from her last boyfriend that she assaulted, and she has continued to try to contact him. And then
I'm more concerned about what's happened with you. So I understand that that's been filed. It's not really that pertinent to this at all. So was there any relationship, any intimacy between, May when it all sparked up again in July?
No, nothing since May.
All right. So you helped her move all her things wherever she wanted them and then thought it was done. And then July, you start receiving information without contacting her.
Correct.
All right. Can you talk to me about this L&I claim and why you believe it's false? What's that about? When did that happen?
That happened on, I think it was like the 11th or 12th that the L&I called me and said that Jen filed a back claim that she injured her back as an employee of me, and I have no employees.
Okay. And when was that? You said the 11th or 12th of what month?
Of August. It was like 2 or 3
Okay.
days after the 9th.
All right. And so you're dealing with that L&I claim now?
Yeah, she's looking into it, and then they were going to get back to me, and I haven't heard anything since.
And then you say there was a threat to your parents from Ms. Gray about reporting to the IRS. What's that you know?
A lot of that has to tie in with medical insurance. She has been blackmailing me for over a year about keeping her on insurance, and she's going to turn me into the IRS, which I don't understand why. I'm up to date on my taxes, and I have no idea what my parents have to do with it, but there's been multiple threats of just, I'm going to do this, come to my work. That's on one of those A, B, and C videos, make my life a living hell, and just awful stuff. And I'm just, and there's just so many things on text that are just awful texts that are, obviously inappropriate to say, but.
So what I hear from, if you can answer some of this, what I hear from Mr. Noah and what I've heard today is that sometime in May, he believes that he put a firm stop to this, that there was some assistance in getting property back and forth. And then in July, he receives a lot of texts, his brother, his son, his ex-wife do too. So any comment on that testimony?
1,000%. I'm embarrassed by my texts. There's been continued contact that I don't have documentation because I am a sales professional. I work, I have kids. I'm doing well. I didn't have time to prepare very well because I was traveling for work, and I'm just getting out of look at my LinkedIn profile.
Now, Jennifer takes the stand, and here's where the story flips. She admits she's embarrassed by her texts, but immediately paints herself as a victim, claiming Kevin was manipulating her, contacting her friends, and mocking her in private recordings. This is a classic defense strategy: shift the narrative, cast doubt on the accuser, and blur the lines between who's harassing whom. The courtroom suddenly becomes a battlefield of credibility. Who do you believe? The man alleging harassment or the woman claiming she's been pushed to the edge?
I have a women in dentistry thing. I have a lot going on. I'm not sitting at home recording things and whatever. Maybe I'm emotional because I'm spread thin.
Well, tell me about the contacts that you wanted to tell me. You can testify to that. Tell me what you know.
The contacts? Oh, well, there's a lot of contacts. He has reached out to my friend via LinkedIn. He's not even on LinkedIn. He has 6 contacts. I have like 8,000 because I use
So
LinkedIn.
was that recently, or what happened there, and why is that?
I don't know why, but I get contact. I don't have time to dig into it or look into it. I don't care, but it feels like a poke. It feels like I just get constant pokes. I spoke with my girlfriend from Scottsdale, a best friend, whatever. I don't talk to her all day, every day, but Kevin's been sharing pictures with her and, sending inappropriate sexual blah, blah, blah. She didn't want to get involved because she's honestly scared of him too.
So those statements, you say you're not proud of the statements you made in some of those
I'm not proud of
exhibits
my text.
had to review.
Yeah.
And so, but there were some statements in there that we've talked about here about ending his life, making his life a living hell, joining the project, the takedown program. Can you tell me
I would love to.
Your response to that?
I loved Kevin. I loved him dearly and I trusted him. And I have, clearly his attorney provided my criminal background. I've had a long history of domestic violence. and abuse. And I am a survivor. And I thought Kevin was different. And so during our 7-year relationship, I wanted to believe him. I wanted to support his business. I wanted to whatever. But the last 2 years, I did see things. I told him, if we get married, I am not going to sign anything, because I dealt with an ex-husband that took me down financially in 2009. He took me down, $500,000 IRS bill. So I told Kevin, I was like, you need to form an LLC. You need to start paying your people appropriately. You need to blah, blah. And then fast forward, I love this man. Fast forward, I didn't get paid. So the takedown project is pay your taxes, pay your people appropriately. I worked a full-time job, sales professional. Look me up on LinkedIn. I work and I'm successful and I meet quotas. I'm a good human. Clearly I'm emotional.
So the
Clearly
takedown project is
pay your taxes.
Your frustration over the way he's running his business.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you listen to the videos he provided, he's taunting me. He's laughing at me. I love what he provided to the courts. I love it. I love it.
So what about the comments, end your life and make your life a living hell?
This is one of the most emotionally raw moments in the hearing. Jennifer admits she loved Kevin, trusted him, and even confesses to feeling suicidal during their relationship. On one hand, it's heartbreaking, a glimpse into a woman unraveling under emotional strain. On the other hand, her words reinforce Kevin's claims that her behavior turned threatening and unstable. This is the duality courts often face: genuine suffering mixed with dangerous behavior. Viewers, here's the question: does her emotional pain excuse the harassment, or does it make it more dangerous?
Any comment there?
And I don't even know where that came from, honestly. I provide context. A lot of things have been said out of emotion. The only end your life project I've had is I have felt suicidal over the last year or two with him, because I did trust him. I did build his business. I didn't get paid for my time at his business. And on top of that, my business suffered, and I've been so spread thin, and I'm so tired, and I'm not going to allow him to take me down. And there have been moments where I've drank too much and I have wanted to end my life. But I have children and I wake up in the morning and I'm not proud, but I'm tired. I'm tired of this.
So,
and I want to ask you
about when did this come to an end, do you think?
It's so confusing. He's such a master manipulator, and it's like, and that's what's so confusing about him. He's like, I love you. And then he just, I don't have a date, but probably June.
And why do you say June? Why do you say probably June?
The actual end date where it was done.
You think, yeah, what you think? Why do you say probably June?
I don't know. Personally, I was holding on to hope and lies and prayer. If I'm being logical and taking emotion out of it and trying to think like a judge, January.
And why do you think? Why do you say January? Why do you think?
Well, he decided to move all of my things, quote unquote, out of his home, and I, in the process, he selectively moved garbage into a storage unit that's totally inconvenient for me to access. And later I moved it. I'm like, at least I'd like to have my Christmas belongings in Tacoma. And as I was going through it, I don't even know what's in there. I have no clue, but I do know that he put Goodwill items and his kids' dirty, just.
Mr. Noah, Ms. Gray,
And here it is, the turning point. The judge rules that Jennifer Gray has committed unlawful harassment, issuing a protective order for Kevin Noah. The reasoning is clear: repeated unwanted contact, threats, and attempts to involve family members and damage his business. What's striking here is how the law acknowledges not just physical violence, but psychological torment as harassment. This sets a strong precedent. Words, texts, and emotional manipulation can be just as destructive as physical actions.
Finding that there is unlawful harassment that's been committed by Ms. Gray against Mr. Noah, meaning that I am issuing an order protecting Mr. Noah against Ms. Gray, and I'm finding that because it was I think, credible testimony that was there pretty firm, not once, but more than once, but a firm time of telling to stop, not interested. Involvement by Ms. Gray when there were 80 plus texts sent to Mr. Noah against his wishes that he didn't respond to, and then trying to entice family members, son, brother, ex-wife, into having contact with him. The repeated statements that ending your life, making your life a living hell, this takedown project, trying to enlist others. It's clear that Ms. Gray, you've committed unlawful harassment under the law against Mr. Noah, and so I'm issuing this order. Now, this order will be in effect for the next year, so through September 9th of next year. Mr. Noah has the opportunity to either let that expire naturally on the 9th of September of next year, or within 3 months of it expiring, sometime after the beginning of June, he can contact the court and ask the court to consider extending it for a longer period of time. And let Mr. Noah and Mr. Foster talk. To extend it for a further period of time, there would be a hearing. All the parties would be before the hearing. The burden of proof, as we call it, would then be on Ms. Gray to show that the harassment would not continue, and the court would make findings and determine should the order continue for longer. But at this stage, 1 year, and I'm looking at the petition, Mr. Foster, I'll turn to you. I'm looking at the petition as to the request. So as to the request of what the provisions of this order should be on behalf of your client.
Well, Your Honor, I was going to request if the court would consider extending it through November 1st of next year. I know obviously he can come and seek a renewal prior to next year's expiration that the court's established, but given that he does run the haunted house business, we'd ask the court to consider extending it through November 1st of next year. If he does renew it at that time, then he does, but just consider almost a year and a few months in terms of the duration of this.
This case wasn't just about a failed relationship. It was about obsession, control, and the limits of human endurance. The court's ruling protects Kevin for 1 year, with the option to extend if the harassment continues. For Jennifer, it's a stern legal reminder that emotional breakdowns cannot justify unlawful actions. And for us, it's a sobering look at how love, when poisoned by revenge, can spiral into destruction. So, what do you think? Was the judge's decision fair, or do you see shades of gray in this story? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.